Good morning, exiles. It is my distinct pleasure on this beautiful Australian morning to be bringing you some more PoE sports. In just a moment, we will be going live with a Dominus Rush race. And I am joined here by none other than the Octaviano. We're a little bit late to the race, but nonetheless, I'm very excited to tell you we have Havoc up in the top left, we have Gucci Pradas up in the top right, we have the Tai Killer down in the bottom left, and we have Chip Idiot down in the bottom right. 4 phenomenal races for some excellent Path of Exile racing for you. We haven't missed too much. Everyone has just gotten to the Breaking Some Eggs quest and Tidal Island. We see Tai Killer finishing his up and heading back into town very quickly, sorting out his gems. We already see a little bit of the classic Stormblast mine action from him, as well as a little bit of Freeze Pulse just to get things kick-started, and we see a similar strategy across all of the players. Looks like we see Havoc moving in as well, just after.
Not a single shadow out of these 4 players. I mean, maybe somewhere else in the rest of the race, as we have sort of a limited viewport into this race now without access to our fancy handy-dandy tools. Maybe there's more shadows out there, but so far it is a cavalcade of witches, which, you know, not surprised by, little disappointed by, but not surprised by. As I said, the Dominus race is sort of the tipping point.
It's so sad. Looks like Gucci coming into his Tidal Island a little bit late there. Might have had a little bit of an upset in the Breaking Some Eggs quest. Slightly delayed, but we see we're just about 6 minutes into the race here. So all of the action is yet to settle out. Only some small differences in the beginning here. We do see Tai Killer just flying and moving into ledge. He does hit some delirium action. We might see, when I talked to Tai Killer for previous race events, there was just a little smidge of delirium as part of his strategy. Just get that first reward tier or 2 in some early delirium encounters, and then not too much after that, because it is exceedingly risky. But he does have an armor stack.
It can make all the difference. You know, not like the unique ones, and then getting the Wanderlust. That's the dream, obviously, and maybe you end up with that. But even just getting like 2 extra rare items can mean you get your transmute in time to be able to make your flat cold wand for Merveil or something like that. Doing 1 or 2 extra deliriums, usually the ledge, as we see another ledge being run here by Havoc.
I hate to interrupt you, but I have some very unfortunate news. We did see an unfortunate death from Chip Idiot, and he is going to boot up some Minecraft. The classic Minecraft. This is not the first time we've seen this. This is not the first time we've seen this.
I missed it. Thank you, though, for catching it. What got him?
No, I did miss the actual death. I saw the death screen and then the logging out and then the booting up of Minecraft. It is not the first time we've seen a player die and switch over to Minecraft during the race. It is a classic. It is classic. There's nothing more soothing than some low resolution blocks to calm the nerves after a upsetting Path of Exile death. But definitely claps to Chip for providing some little bit of sport for us. I'm sure we'll be seeing him in some of the later races while he takes a little break in his Minecraft for now. I'm gonna get a new multi-twitch up with a new perspective.
Not to bore folks with too many details, but evidently there was a change in the Twitch API in the back end, which wasn't accounted for, or was extremely recent or something along those lines, and that is why the tool isn't functioning, and so we will be on multi-Twitch for the rest of the broadcast today.
We are substituting in Garatha down in the bottom right. So just once again, we have Havoc up in the top left, Gucci Pradas, Tai Killer, and now Garatha down in the bottom right, who's moving through prison, actually at a speedy pace.
He's a shadow, and he's got a life sprig.
Octavian.
He's got a life sprig. I can see it. I can see it from the 3D art.
Yes, I see a flower.
Haha.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's a life sprig.
So you just play a shadow, you'll get good luck. I'm curious as to, he probably has the frost bomb socketed in there. I think it might be the most effective right now. The life sprig is actually like very easily worse damage once you get past I don't know, the point where you can do the rare wand recipe than a just rare flat damage wand.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at this point, this early on, it is excellent. not even just offensively, but the little bit of regen and a little bit of
Yes.
flat life is most impactful right now.
Apparently, he also has Wanderlust as well.
What the heck? Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell that from the 3D art. What is that?
We're seeing a lot
Those
of...
don't fall off. Those are just good the whole time.
Yeah, we apparently chat's informing us they are Wanderlust. They do certainly look like it. He is going hard on those deliriums, getting multiple jewelry stacks. 2 Lapis amulets. Unfortunately, he can't dual wield those, but he does slap one on. So Garatha in the lead at the moment with a very fast getting to Brutus and some highly unethical RNG there. Absolutely disgusting, but very smooth Brutus kill so far. Didn't get hit even once. He gets a simple robe. I think that was 1,000 ribbons.
Simple robe. Actually, 1,000 ribbons might be the right simple robe. You save that until the boss fight and throw it on. It's a decent amount of extra damage.
Yeah, no, he just vendors it. Wait, no?
Yeah, no, he's vending it. He wants negative transmute shards for it.
Yeah, he wants those alts and those alch shards, a little bit extra currency. We've seen Alchemy drop Havoc up in the top left. Nice to see, but the other players are definitely going to need some drops like that.
I mean, an Alchemy as well for Garatha there. He's really well set up here. And this is the race where this RNG is going to be most impactful because it's the shortest race. There's the least time for other people to catch up, you know? Like, you're only going through 3 acts here.
Yeah,
he gets through this first one a good 2 minutes faster because of the Wanderlust. That's going to make the difference.
Yeah, this is a speedy race, but it also means that positive RNG that might eke you out a small advantage can easily be offset by a mistake. So going the wrong way in a zone or something like that, oof, could be all over. And we know from, we're seeing Titykiller look like he's the second into Brutus here. And we've seen from recent races, Titykiller has been on fine form recently, just racing like an absolute machine. So we see a very clean Brutus kill from him so far. You can see, look at all the strats for the Brutus kill action. You're doing the Frost Blink, you cover him in the Frost Blink, you're putting down the Orb of Storms, you're spamming the Stormblast Mines,
you're
and you're getting the massive subs.
With your sub notification.
Thank you, Titykiller, for massive sub notification. Appreciate it. It was well timed, though. It was right as Brutus died, so that's not too shabby. Next up, we see Havoc coming into the Brutus fight.
I think he should have gone with the drop a Wanderlust strat. That one's working out really well.
That is a good strat. That's the Ty 23 strat, if I recall correctly. But also, apparently, the Garatha strat. That was some damage. Whoa, that was a super fast kill from Havoc. That was like half the time it took Titykiller and others to kill.
I don't think he has anything crazy in terms of gear either. Yeah, he's just got what you'd expect to have at this point. Well, it's nice that he's got a couple coral rings, I guess.
I heard some secrets that Havoc was practicing some strategies where he seeds the RNG for his run to make sure that every single Stormblast Mine on Brutus will be a crit. That's the important factor. That, basically, it makes you 50% faster kill. So you may have seen him doing some weird stuff earlier. Each one of those random seemingly steps he was taking was seeding the RNG for the Brutus kill. I think that's the reason we saw that there. We saw that executed perfectly. I don't know whether they'll play any more roles, but these are some old school speedrunning strats, yeah.
And it looks like the Warden's Quarters is being entered by Gucci here as he's coming up on his Brutus fight. He's got a speed shrine to help him through the long, arduous walk up to Brutus himself.
That's exactly when you want to avoid. That's like the dream acceleration shrine with just enough time to get you to Brutus. It's perfect. Like, I pretty much got him all the way. That's very nice. That was a long run to have the acceleration shrine for.
And I mean, is a perfectly fine and respectable Brutus, but doesn't quite delete it like Havoc did. Maybe it was a bunch of Swift Assembly procs, who knows?
You got Havoc in the top left corner, smashing out against some rares. Almost kills the rare, but then just decides to leave it. Decides it's not worth it. A very fast kill from Gucci Pradas. Pretty nice. A few of those crits
Marvel. Marbles is a marble fight for Garatha already there.
Pretty nuts to see Mavale already.
That is ridiculous.
From Garatha. He's flying.
Just life-spring and Wanderlust in like the first 5 zones even.
Also seemingly a very clean run so far as well, but also a very clean first kill. Snipes are right before eating that Ice Storm. Positions perfectly in amongst all of the Ice Geysers. Hey, I learned from my recent piety, my race practice with TyTy Killer that Merveil is like actually way harder than you think. We're all used to doing her over leveled,
Sure.
over geared, you know, but when you're in the race situation, she's scary. All of those
You're not
little
gonna
lightning
have
balls hurt
cat
so
res.
much. Yeah, no,
You're not
no
even
res.
going to have like positive 30 probably. He doesn't have any sapphire rings on. It was a couple of coral rings, so I can't imagine his cold res is anything higher than like 15.
Yeah, I think like that was the old race strat, was like make sure you have a sapphire ring, everything like that. I think a lot of the top races are like, yeah, maybe I'll have one. I'm not going to worry about it too much. We want to do this fast, not taking the extra time to even bother getting a sapphire ring at this point. I'm just going to skill the fight, pure skill.
Especially as a shadow, you're not going to have that res because Witch has the option, because you go for the lightning res and lightning damage node. Witch has the option to click the cold res cold damage node if you really want to, which isn't that bad, even though you're doing Stormblast Mine, because both of your wands, or at least one of your wands, careful there, Havoc, is going to be flat cold. All right, I'll finish my thought after the Merveil fight. Havoc dropping below half there, only has a small life flask with a couple charges left to his name, but he will be able to get some of those charges back after he phases Merveil here, and it looks like he's got it under control now. Just entering the fight tanked a couple things more than he meant to. Has to be careful with the statues, though. Those things chunk.
Oh yeah, absolutely. TyTy Killer getting a little bit of a nasty set of water geysers there. Block him off. Gets a Black Heart Iron Ring. Not too useful, but better than nothing. Maybe some Alk Shards. Gets through his kill, and we do see Havoc on his second phase now. Ooh, eating a big ice wave. Getting caught on some of the geysers. A lot of exploding squids on top of him, but does manage to take him out thanks to that Orb of Storms. Critting and chunking some of those. And he gets a Princess Saber. Lots of uniques dropping this race.
Yeah, this is... Do we have the rarity from the other client turned on or something?
We're going to boot up a new multi-twitch here because we have a view from Park HC, who is apparently speeding ahead as well. So we're going to see how Park HC is going. Up in the top right. So just once again, we don't have a name overlay at the moment. We are jury rigging this in fine form today, folks. This is some pure, authentic Path of Exile community-led racing experiences here. We have Havoc in the top left, Park HC in the top right, TyTy Killer down in the bottom left, and Garatha down in the bottom right. Garatha, you know him, he's already been smashing it. But look, Park HC, where did this guy come from? Brutal Shrine, slightly ahead of Garatha. What? After seeing the Garatha experience recently. And look at the massive damage on Fetalitis, knocking him around with that Brutal Shrine. Quite hilarious.
A little spooky. He got overlapped there. But yeah, Pak has been putting in work lately. He's been practicing. He was actually casting a small race that took place yesterday. For anybody who missed it, Soupline puts together community races as well, and Pak, I don't know if he participated in some of them, but he was casting some of the later ones, so he may have participated in some of the earlier ones and casted some of the later ones, I'm not sure. But he's also the guy I was talking about earlier that was doing the spell slinging practice. We won't see that here in this short of a race. It makes absolutely zero sense, but maybe in some of the longer ones we hold today.
Secret strategies in secret races. Very interesting to see.
Oh no!
Oh no!
It was
monkeys.
Well, we know he didn't have Wanderlust.
No. Oh, the classic. Monkeys give him an absolute beat down there. Caught on the strong box. Absolutely brutal. Types Monka S. I think he meant to type Monkey S in chat. Oh no, Park. It was very short-lived, but the brightest flames do burn the quickest. Park HC coming on the stream, showing what he's made of. Huge amounts of speed, beating out Garatha, who seemingly has infinite RNG, but then snuffed out tragically. So sad. We're going to watch some rip clips at the end of the race, folks.
We usually have the tool to pull them in, but at the moment, we can't smoothly bring the rip clips on screen, but apparently, if we just, mention racers' names enough, we can just curse them and cause them to die. And that counts as a rip clip, right?
That definitely counts as a rip clip. All right, we got some new screens up. Sorry for the momentary flashbang there. We have the Dead and Doom taking over the top right place. So once again, we got Havoc, Dead and Doom, Tai Killer, and Garatha. You guys know him. You guys love him. Dead and Doom up in the top right. Classic of the racing scene. Huge racer, huge RNG. Always absolute filthy racing strategies. And pre-stacking the Weaver doesn't get the big kill on the Weaver though, but lots of damage, only eating a little bit in return. Pretty good. We also see not too far off Garatha catching up to get to the Weaver as well.
Needing to catch up before though, was in the lead. So Dead and Doom good on him for, you know, holding this lead and gaining it even despite the RNG that Garatha has here. And we'll see how good Garatha's damage is on the Weaver as it comes down. Roughly similar. Has a better spread of mines, so chunks the Weaver more quickly.
Yeah, the positioning and the placement of the mines is a little bit tricky, but a lot of these racers know where she comes down, they know where to drop them, and hopefully they all land and trigger at that perfect time and do some big damage to the Weaver. This Weaver fight is really ridiculous nowadays. Look at all these spiders. It's so many spiders. And they don't even give you XP.
Blue spiders. So often you get blue spiders that give frenzy charges on kill, or when they're killed.
And there's so many of them. There's so many of them. But Garatha does make it through his Weaver kill. No unfortunate upsets on the bosses yet. Mostly just, well, we saw a strong box rip and we saw a something. We will catch up some rip clips later as a bit of a death montage. But for now, we're focusing on the glory of precision Path of Exile gaming here. Do you see the crate and bridge?
I expect to see some of the racers helping Oak potentially just to skip that fight. In shorter races, you'll often see that. Generally, you see that in like a Vol Oversoul race. In something like a Dominus race, it's going to be either helping Illyra or helping Oak.
Yeah, that's it. The Oak fight can take a very long time. Oak does have his textures back these days, but that doesn't help much because he likes to summon a bunch of endurance charges and gain a ton of resistances. For the elemental damage, and if you're playing a physical damage build, forget about it because Immortal Call all day, every day. But nonetheless, we do see Dead and Doom pre-stacking Oak and just going for the kill. Hopefully before he get the endurance charges, super fast kill. Doesn't even care. Oak, what? Who's Oak? Don't even worry about it. Goes for the kill. But you're right.
Shadow setup, as I said earlier, has like much more efficient early damage nodes than Witch, so is going to have, you know, more burst for this point in the story.
Yeah, and that was a huge amount of burst. Very nice Oak kill. Oak's the thing where if you can't kill him right away, you'll do that Enduring Cry, and then you'll start to get those charges, and then it starts to slow down a lot. But you know, he's been weighed and he's been measured and he's been found wanting because Dead and Doom knows exactly how fast he can kill him. No problems at all. Let's see, he's not pre-stacking Illyra, so instead opts to help Illyra. Just to get the little bonus from Illyra, possibly, instead of Oak's bonus. Since the kill time doesn't make much difference for him. Yeah, the ore resistance for Illyra actually factoring in. Scepter of God, which will be the final kind of zones that gets run here, is actually pretty scary as in terms of elemental damage. So a little bit of extra boost of resistances certainly isn't going to hurt your safety in moving through those last zones there. Also, Dominus himself can be a little bit dangerous in that first phase.
I suppose it's a very minor thing, but I suppose as the shadow version of the build, you actually don't pick up LE overload, so you do use the multi. Not very well, but you do use it. It isn't just completely eliminated. Speaking of LE overload, Tai will be picking that up here, and that is the advantage that the Witch will have, is you grab LE overload and you manage to also get the more crucial thing, I would say, is that you can path to Dark Arts. But the reason why Shadow is even viable at all in a shorter race like this is that later on, or you don't really have Dark Arts for very long in the scope of a Dominus race. So it doesn't it doesn't get given the opportunity to give you the advantage that it definitely can.
Yeah, Dark Arts being that, it's all about the speed on the Dark Arts cluster. Lots of speed for the racing action, but like you said, not as much time to take advantage of it. You do see Dead and Doom up in the top right, smashing his way through the Vile Ruins, touching the ball, makes his way through into the Northern Forest with a little bit of a lead at the moment over our second in place, Garatha, down in the bottom right. And yes, once again, this race is a Dominus rush kill. So whoever can kill the Dominus the fastest, unlike a lot of races we've seen in the past. Not an XP race, levels are irrelevant, and we'll see players kill Dominus at the lowest level they think they can get away with, if they believe it to be the fastest. A rather unfortunate little dead end there for Garatha. Most unfortunate. Does backtrack and should be able to find the correct path. Vile Ruins upsetting from time to time. Can be very upsetting. I often find it upsetting when I'm in there.
Yes, exactly. One of my least favorite zones in the game, but does get 3 essences for his trouble at least. So nice little pile of currency on the way out here. And looks like he's going to be throwing some extra sockets onto his Wanderlust there to try and make room, presumably for maybe a Herald or something. And actually takes the time to talk to Einhar. Dead and Doom just ignored him and kept walking.
Dead and Doom stacking multiple shrines in true Dead and Doom fashion. If it's been a while since you've seen Dead and Doom in the racing action, well known for ridiculous shrine RNG. Just somehow always pulling out the shrines and just cruising through a zone with a massive and an Ice Nova shrine at the same time.
Havoc actually killed Alira.
Yeah, Havoc going for the Alira kill.
I think he's going for 2 passive points. Okay. Wanting to get to Dark Arts a little quicker would be my guess.
Yeah, possibly. Being the witch maybe helps
Tai Tai as well. Yeah. Yeah, so both of our witches are killing Alira here. That makes sense.
I love the level of nuance there. Rather than opting for the resists, they're like, oh, I can get this extra passive means I can get this extra notable a little bit faster that is relevant to me as a witch, whereas the Shadow's like, there's not much I can do with that extra passive. I'll take the resists instead.
Yeah, you're just kind of concentrating your passive points on that shadow square that is no longer really a square so much as an oblong, I don't know, what's rhombus? Is that the word? It's a shadow rhomb where all the good nodes are. They got all kind of squished and weird when they did that passive tree change.
Sounds good to me. Yes, don't pay too much attention to Garatha's timer. Garatha is so fast his timer cannot keep up with him. The more accurate timer is Havoc's timer up in the top left. But yes, Garatha's breaking speed barriers, breaking timers. Don't even worry about it, okay?
One day, we'll see a racer that's fast enough to rescue Tolman.
But
until that day, we have not peaked in terms of PoE speed.
We have to get there before PoE 2 comes out. Or unless we go back to PoE Classic in the future and continue some PoE Classic racing from time to time. Oh my god, I just realized when PoE 2 comes out, we're going to have PoE 2 races and possibly PoE Classic races. Wow.
That's exciting. And PoE 2 races are going to be really exciting because of the new technology they'll have for zone layout randomization.
Yeah, exciting or sweat inducing possibly, because zone reads are already like one of the defining skill sets of a racer, being able to know where to go in each zone and how to do them quickly without getting lost. That's gonna be crazy in PoE 2. Curious to see that.
Yeah. I think the way that they mentioned it would work is that like you could have, so you know that like when you click on a waypoint and you have that little world map thing, that can generate somewhat randomly. So instead of always having the zone be top right from another one, so like wetlands is always from the bottom left exit, sometimes wetlands could be on the other side of town. So that might still mean that the zones themselves are relatively readable. It's just there's going to be more variance and you'll have to memorize more things.
Yeah, absolutely. The races will figure it out. I'm confident. I don't know how I'm going to figure it out, but I know the races will. Pretty good first phase for Dead and Doom there, and taking out Vile Oversoul in the second phase is pretty much perfect. About what you could expect here. You can get some unfortunate incidents where Vile gets down underground again quickly, and you have to wait a full like another 10-15 seconds there. But nice clean kill for Dead and Doom.
And we do, even if our observer client is a little bit frustrated at the moment by the Twitch API, we do still have some of our tools running in the background. We have a little item alert thing that's going on, and it just pinged that Gucci has a Quicksilver Flask of Adrenaline. So congrats to him. He gets to go faster.
That is certainly a very nice one to get. We've seen some expert racers do a lot of math on whether it was worth trying to roll from that, and it's just... apparently it's so hard to actually land a Quicksilver Adrenaline, racers don't even try for it, but if you get it, you are highly enthused about it, because move speed, man. Obviously, racing, run fast.
It's part of the reason why Den was considered to be worth it in a lot of races, because it gives you a magic Quicksilver. So
Oh,
not only is
Gucci
it
died.
that second Quicksilver, which is the big thing. Oh, okay.
The comedic timing. Oh no. Oh no.
I mean, my point still stands. Den gives you a magic Quicksilver. Maybe it's adrenaline, but it doesn't help much if you die with it.
Oh dear. Oh dear. That is sorry, Gucci. I feel like we're
Can I
partially to
say
blame.
someone's name without them dying, please?
No, don't say names.
I want to be able to do my job, but I don't want to kill people.
Just say a non-specified racer is doing X.
There is a racer doing well in this race.
Indeed. Well, definitely Peppy Hands
Oh god,
Clappers.
Freeze's box for Dead and Doom.
Ooh,
Okay, he's
yeah,
fine.
just manages to make it through though, is looking okay. Might have had his Orbital Storms up, which can be a bit of a lifesaver to pre-put that there. Get some of those kills as you're frozen.
Yeah, you do have to worry, like, it's still not a get out of jail free card if you do that, because maybe it's a Freezes you detonate dead box. You know, maybe the game just wants you to die. We have a couple Oversoul fights going on, though. Tai is at his. Those extra 2 passive points have given him the full Dark Arts wheel, and Havoc has already finished his fight and is going to be moving on to Act 3.
It was a huge Valoso kill for Havoc there. Gets himself into the next act, into Act 3, nice and quickly. The final act for this Dominus Rush kill event. So far, looking like we do see Dead and Doom being slightly in the lead, but pretty close. Wait, no. Yes. Slightly in the lead.
No?
Maybe. I got confused as to where Garatha was up to. Dead and Doom looks like he's leading the charge a little bit at the moment. Unless, no! Garatha moving into Crematorium first. Wait, no, yeah, no, Dead and Doom's in the lead. He's going to
Dead
Sewers.
and Doom's already done Crematorium. I was about to say. He was getting chunked by some of the lightning damage from Piety. That was a little bit spooky, but he did manage to get through it. Tai is well and truly into his Oversoul fight now. A little bit of a frustrating start, as he didn't quite manage to prevent it from going under, but that's much harder to do nowadays after the Orb of Storm's nerf. And it looks like the Oversoul will cooperate and just throws down a few slams and happily goes on to, I don't know, whatever afterlife those things go on to.
The vacuum cleaner afterlife.
Yeah. The utility closet in the sky.
Oh, the great utility closet in the sky. So sad. Goodbye, Vile Oversoul. That is all we'll see from you for now. And not today, because there is more racing coming up, but for the moment, for this race. Okay, we do see the Piety kill for Garatha.
Tai trying to get some... Oh, sorry. Lightning bolts, chunk. Someone died?
No, he's good, he's good.
Death?
Piety viable, confirmed. No problemo at all.
I have a very serious question for you, Ziggy.
Yes, please ask.
Can people wide peepo in your chat?
They can wide peepo happy right heart in my chat. It's the next best thing. It is the next best thing. They can do this.
All right, this is acceptable. I speak for all of chat when I say this. This is acceptable. I'm an elected chat official.
Very good. I've never been able to figure out how to enable FFC emotes. Scuffed broadcaster, I know. I'm sorry, but this is the next best thing that I've got for you. But you know what? I do bring you some race casting, even though things may be non-functional at times during the race casting, and even though many errors may be made, it sure is existing. So I hope you guys enjoy that.
Come on, we can reach a higher bar than existing.
Hey, that's a good starting place. I can only go up from here.
All right, I'll take it, I guess.
Okay. We do see some Doc's action from Dead and Doom. Picking up the Thormenic Sulfite very quickly. It looks like only one little dead end there, which is pretty good as far as Doc is concerned. Does not have too far to go now to reach Dominus. A couple little checkpoints to reach. Has to go take both pieces over to Solaris Temple and get them converted into the talcum powder for the sewers. So we should be seeing that in just a moment. The question is, can our number 2 racer, Garatha, catch up? He's not too far behind, but he's got a couple checkpoints to hit. I mean, he has to get to docks. He has to do that very quickly. He's got the items that are going to help a lot, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to layout luck for the next few zones. You know, if he gets a docks that's as cooperative as Dead and Dooms, I think there's a chance he catches up. Especially if, you know, Dead and Doom gets a layout or two that's iffy. But if things go roughly even, I really don't see somebody else claiming this. Dead and Doom seems to have it in the bag. We're coming up on the finish line here.
Yeah, he's looking very clean.
That's the reason
he's not really made any mistakes. Yeah, Dead and Doom's been a top-tier Path of Exile racer for a while now. Often hard to catch and hard to beat when he does throw down the gauntlet. Can it be done today?
You can see we're already in that part of the shorter race here where the players start to just skip as much as they can while clearing. Like, he's going to kill off a little bit of that blue pack, but he's not going out of his way for anything that isn't going to die to the Orb of Storms on placement, pretty much just to keep up Quicksilver charges and maybe the occasional onslaught proc.
Yeah, I think I love boss kill races for that reason, because those last 10 or so minutes of the race become very exciting very quickly, because, as you said, the players stop leveling. They're like, okay, I'm at the bare minimum level to kill this boss. And the bare minimum level for these players to kill the boss is, whew, like, under-leveled, under-geared, sketchy.
That was not very complicated, but was kind of cool. I don't know why I hadn't considered it before, but Dead and Doom actually placed a smoke mine by the waypoint in front of Diala, then went to talk to Diala, get the rewards, and activated the smoke mine to go right back to the waypoint.
Yo, I love it. That is some next level waypoint management there. Instead of having to blink back, already set up. Yo, I like it. I mean, we see players doing the smallest things to try and eke out an advantage, whether it's like accessing the vendor as they're running through town and accessing the exit of the thing, like timing out and figuring out the pixel they need to place their mouse cursor on the load screen to click on the vendor faster. I mean, as if you're not going to place a smoke mine to backpedal to the waypoint.
I swear there's something weird and buggy about Lunaris Temple, like the first floor. Like, a third of the time when you enter that zone, there's 2 shrines right at the start. I've been doing a lot of like leveling and league restarting. I've noticed it this league. It just happened to Dead and Doom, which is why I bring it up.
There was a lot of monsters there. I didn't see the shrines. That's crazy. He didn't decide to risk going for the shrines then, I see. Maybe if it wasn't adrenaline, he would have.
I mean, the monster kills are completely irrelevant at this point. He's going to throw in a chess piece for Lunaris Floor 2, which does make some sense, as this is one of the rippier zones in the run with the piety miscreations.
Yeah, they're a little bit scary. They always have been a little bit scary, but then they got scarier ever since they developed advanced targeting algorithms. Previously, they just fired in a straight line and were unable to change their angle, but now, as you notice, once they start their barrage, they can mid-barrage change the aim. That is some hot new technology for them. I don't know. We as players are not there yet with our barrages.
I wonder if that's been picked up by like the Spectre AI. I wonder if they'd be worth revisiting in that regard. Not very relevant in the course of a Dominus kill race, but
no, maybe not. But could be interesting. Yeah, so just to reiterate, we see the players backing off on the killing now for the most part. Dead and Doom killing almost nothing unless it's actively in his way. He might kind of accidentally, or accidentally on purpose, kind of just smidge out another level before the end. But for the most part, is just about running the rest of the way to the boss fight. And then again, that's why I love these boss kill races, because things get very scary as the players get super underleveled and rush through these last zones and then try and do the boss super underleveled. So we're seeing that now for Dead and Doom.
More importantly than the character level would be if he was at a position to maybe smidge out that extra gem level for his mines or whatever. Because he's not really going to do that much more with an extra passive point. He's acquired the maximum power that he can out of the Shadow Rhombus. So getting an extra character level isn't really going to do that much for him, aside from maybe some base health. But taking on Piety with 600 hit points it's a little spooky. See how quickly you can bring her down.
Pretty decent.
Melee form.
Half health.
He eats a couple swipes. A couple swipes.
Ooh. Dead and Doom.
He was so brave. He just face tanked those last 2 hits.
He just mathed it out. He knew, I can take this exact amount of swipes. And he's like, I'm confident. I'm feeling okay. The swipes get a little bit scary because of the stacking debuff as she gets scarier and scarier the more hits you take, so you eventually do have to back off. Dead and Doom having a very long contacting server there. That is not what he wants to see, unless his stream is frozen here. We're maybe gonna do a hot swap to the tool because it seems to be working now.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
seeing Dead and Doom though, so I think it's on our end.
It might be my actual server that's dead then.
Better. Oh, and according to our support staff, I am Exile, who's been off screen for off our multi-Twitch, has caught up to Dead and Doom as well. So if we can get the tool rolling, maybe we can bring him on.
Yeah,
if he's streaming, I hope he is.
I'm attempting to get it set up now.
I can do some radio commentary in the background while you work out the details.
Yeah, let us know how things are going.
Dead and Doom is climbing the Scepter of God. He's still on the first floor. And he's basically skipping every single monster and just reading the layouts and getting to the exits as quickly as possible. He's in fine form, it looks like, to get to this boss fight. He's not really taking all that much damage from the lightning traps or the freezing pulses, so I think his res is even in a pretty good spot, which is not something you can really take for granted in a race like this. So certainly a powerful tool for him to have in his toolkit, actually being, you know, potentially close to capped on lightning res. And again, we don't have access to the profiles right now. Is the tool going? I'm seeing it.
I think it might be. Yes, we do have the tool going. Let me get it up here. Is this it? No, I have so many multi-twitches. Oh no! we have some replays going. Oh no! I may have goofed it, chat. Hold on.
I think we just rewatched Fox Rip. There's Garapa.
Okay, there we go. All right. Sorry about the trying to get the technology working, folks. We should be smooth from here on out, pretty much. We have Dead and Doom up in the top right. We have I'm Exile up in the top left, who, as Octavian was saying, is presenting the greatest threat to Dead and Doom right now. So we have a challenger taking the screen, and then we've got Mission Man down in the bottom left, and Garatha down in the bottom right. Once again,
and I'm Exile as well, as like, to be matching up against Dead and Doom in a shorter race like this. Look at that. He's neck and neck. That's got to feel real good. He doesn't have the ability to wear his chest piece, though. I think he just re-geared and lost some stats, so he's now shirtless for the fight.
Hey, we may have had some goose, but we got here just in time to see an extremely close finish for the Dominus boss kill. God. Who is going to get it? We see the Cyclone taking a little bit longer for I'm Exile. Dead and Doom getting him down a little bit faster, taking down all of the minor bosses before the Dominus fight. We've got Alal going down at the exact same time. I'm Exile a little bit behind. Kali?
This is so goddamn close. Exile taking some chunks there. Yeah.
Orcus the Reaver is next. Dead and Doom leading by just a second so far on the minor boss kills. Next up, Dominus floating down
it's
almost
the same animation.
We got some synchronized swimming here. Damage is looking a little bit faster for Dead and Doom. He's staying on top of the boss, doing a little bit more damage, a little bit faster. The racers cannot even know how close this is. First form Dominus just about to go down for Dead and Doom. Goes down. Teleport happens almost at the exact same time, though. I'm Exile with a little burst of damage at the end there. It's going to come down to the second phase of the boss fight. I'm Exile, like you said, with some stat difficulties, having trouble equipping his chest.
It's so appropriate, too, that this is a Shadow versus a Witch. I just noticed that. Exile playing the Witch, Dead and Doom on the Shadow.
We'll find out who is the greatest here. Dead and Doom's Dominus starting. This is going to be too close to call from the streams.
His Ellie Overload came up early on. That might make the difference. That he got an Ellie Overload proc early in this second phase. That's actually going to make the difference.
Oh my god.
That was Ellie Overload.
Did he do it?
That was what made the difference right there.
By just 1 second, Dead and Doom about to click on the exit and then realizes, wait a minute, wait, what? I was literally about to click the exit. And I'm Exile sneaks through. Like you said, the Ellie Overload damage being the boost for the second phase there. And I'm Exile taking the win in spectacularly close fashion.
It wasn't just having it, though, that made the difference. It was the fact that he lucked into having it proc at the very start of the second phase, so he had, like, as much uptime during it as he could.
I love to see him popping off.
Happen if you don't have it, but, like, my God. His chance can't be more than, like, I don't know, 9% or something?
Pretty nuts how that turned out. He was like a second behind on that entire fight. It was so close, and then just eked out a 1 second lead by the end there. I keep saying this, but it was like we might have had the closest race of all time today. It keeps happening. We get closer and closer races. How can it keep happening?
We do have Garatha into his Dominus here. It looks like it's going decently smooth. I'm coming down from that. Oh my god, gets reaved while being shot though. It's a little scary. But he makes it through. Into the Dominus fight proper.
I don't know if Dead and Doom technically needs to go into the next zone to do it, but I mean Dominus is dead. We all know it.
Yeah.
It's just a bit easy to tell who gets it first if they do. Yeah, we'll check the Discord because that was like so close, but I do believe that was it. Photo finish pretty much, but I think it is basically confirmed for Exile taking first place, Dead and Doom in second, and Garatha likely, unless of upset here on the Dominus second phase, will be taking the third place. So we have the top 3 places system for today's races. So Garatha will be taking third place prize, and his cut of the winnings. Ooh. So let me full screen him for the final bit here.
Actually got a little bit chunked there as he was portaling out. Dominus gave him a parting slap as he went through the portal.
A little bit of a tap as he leaves. Eats a big kiss at the end there, just a little mwah. But he's all right. He's all right. The health gets low. He's fine. Gets third place. Congratulations to Garatha. Congratulations to our top 3 races and everyone else who gave us some spectacular entertainment. We had Exile, Dead and Doom, and Garatha topping out this race in with a very spectacularly close near photo finish. Very good stuff. The next race will be coming up in roughly 20 minutes, but in the meantime, we have some rip clips to check out. So let us go ahead and check out some rip clips. Folks, let's do it. I know you wanted to see it. We didn't get to show them during the race, so we have... freeze lockbox monkeys.
That was one of the ones we did get to see.
Freeze lockbox monkeys. Monkeying around by Park HC, gets frozen on the strongbox, eaten by a bunch of monkeys, and spat on by snakes. Could you have any more insulting a death? Most unfortunate. You just gotta have Wanderlust equipped. What can I say? No, in reality, even if he had pre-placed his Orb of Storms, which is a good strategy for these strong boxes, it would not have been enough with the amount of monsters there on screen. Maybe some Smoke Mine plays might have done it, but it can be difficult to pull off. Monka S, indeed. Unfortunate upset for Park HC, who was doing really well at that time as well.
Yeah, he was leading the pack at the time in the rip. Those are the ones that are spookiest to see. Delirium is a bit spooky, though, as Chip just evaporates.
Yeah, Chip, idiot, getting, I don't even know, looks like a big teleport there from the, wait, what? Did he desync?
Scroll back.
No. Oh, not deterministic lockstep. This is predictive mode gameplay here. Oh no.
That's why.
I haven't seen it in a while, you know, the predictive mode, the hard counter to desync, but oh no, that is some huge desync. That's some old school Path of Exile racing gameplay right there. Very unfortunate. Looks like he might have gotten caught on the pillar or on one of the monsters, and unfortunately lost synchronization. Teleports back into the pack and absolutely obliterated by the huge damage.
Yeah, Chip in particular has had some issues with that. I don't think his internet is entirely reliable, which is really, you know, rather unfortunate, as pretty much all of PoE racing does take place remotely at the moment.
Yeah, you do hate to see it, most unfortunate. We see some Ranger gameplay from Soupline here, doing a little bit of the caustic arrow action. I like to see it. Much respect for the Ranger action. Gets slowed by the Screeches, manages to pull himself out of a bad situation. Caught down by the Delirium and the Caustic Arrow, just slightly too slow. Those monsters have 1 hit point. He almost killed them. He almost won. He almost got his way through there. That was pretty close. But unfortunately, gets slapped down by the Delirium monsters.
It wasn't close for the monsters.
We're seeing a lot more Delirium gameplay here. Than we have seen in previous races. Yeah, no. absolutely slapped down by one of those big delirium mobs. That is most
we're,
unfortunate.
We're seeing a lot of delirium gameplay as we go back through the rip clips.
Yes.
Which might be
It's
why
just
we don't see it a lot otherwise.
We might not see it from the top races quite as much for that reason alone. Here we have one robot boy who apparently has a very close call. I don't know if I blinked and missed it. Eats a lot.
Dots on him.
Yeah.
He's ignited and a bleed.
All of the D-gens is like, I think I'm out of here. But he managed to survive. Nicely done, one robot boy with an epic survival there. That was pretty close. Who do we have next? We have Zoigmax. That is a very fast clip.
Ooh.
Blink and you'll miss it. Oh no. Barrage by Mervale. Absolutely brutal. Like I said, Mervale, very dangerous. Eating 2/3 of a barrage is enough, let alone the full barrage. The entirety of the barrage gets absolutely stunned and obliterated. Yep, not even a chance to move there. Destroyed.
Fire.
Yep, machine gun down. Pretty brutal. Here we had, before Park's untimely demise, we apparently had a very close call. As Park is doing passives during the Mervale fight. Oh my god. You gotta hand it to him. It's like taking every opportunity to do those passives possible. Possibly, maybe not the most sanest location to be doing it, but does manage to pull it off. Next up, we have Gucci. I know, we were just talking about Gucci's Quicksilver of Adrenaline. At this exact moment, we were saying, hey, wow, Gucci has a Quicksilver of Adrenaline. That's going to be a real big help. It would be a shame if anything were to go wrong, say, on the Weaver fight. But that would never happen.
Spot to Flame Dash too.
Oh no. Oh no. Yep. That is most unfortunate. Gets away, actually, to safety. Eats a ton of damage from Weaver and is like, oh, wait a minute. Oh. No, wait, why did I path back and flame dash back to the Weaver? That might have been, perhaps, human error. Perhaps an accident. Definitely tragic slip and fall for Gucci there just after getting the Adrenaline Quicksilver. We are partially to blame for that. Claps for the racers who died in spectacular fashion in the race. We have a couple more for you. And then we'll take a break before the next race. We got one robot boy playing on some shadow action at Mervale.
I was about to say, getting another spot on the stream with his clip here, but I read the title and now I'm sad. I'm not gonna spoil anything though.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have to.
Yeah, that was a Ice Storm followed by the Barrage combo. He gets chilled, which makes it hard for him to get out of the Ice Storm. Eats a bunch of the Ice Storm. Was it actually just the Ice Storm?
I think the Barrage.
Yeah, no, the Barrage as well. You're right. Yeah, the Ice Storm kind of tickling a bit, but the Barrage doing the majority of the work there. Oh, that's look at the character just head bobbing there as they get chunked by icicles. Like I said, Mervale, very scary. She's an ice cold being. Moving on to the last clip we have for you today from the first race, however, because I'm sure there'll be more. We have Pedalolol, Pete Lol even.
Oh.
Oh. Lasered. That was a very sneaky laser. That was a very sneaky laser. Pete Lol did not die. This was a close call. Rip clips and close calls. Whew, yeah, that was huge. Look at that. That's such a fast laser. Just like, bop. Like, wait, what? Well, that's very rude. You cannot do that. Alrighty, folks. Alrighty, folks. That is it for the first race. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back with a bit of a break. We'll be back after a short break for the second race, which is going to be a 2-hour XP race. So we have a serious race on our hands coming up very soon, folks. So we'll see you guys then. I'm going to take a short break until then. See you soon.